Okay, 16th of October 2016, back at Site 6. I just thought I'll do a quick video why I've taken down some of the videos from YouTube, why I've not adding any more videos. It's a bit of a hard one, really. It's difficult enough for people to believe there's a Sasquatch being, I refer to at this location as Anglo-Sasquatches, being here in the UK. There's a lot of ridicule, there's a lot of non-belief, negativity towards this, but I know for certain they exist, and I also know for certain that they are on a very different wavelength to us, very different entirely. Who are they? The jury's out on that one. I cannot give you any clues as to exactly who they are, where they came from, how long they've been here, what's their purpose, blah blah blah, the whole works. I cannot answer that. There's a lot of people out there who've already given their conclusions as to who the Sasquatch people are. At the moment I can't buy into any of them. It doesn't fit my own beliefs at this stage, but they've been here a very long time. You know, we're talking medieval period in the UK. There's lots of indications, and even prior to that, the whole idea of the Green Man in the UK proves the point that they've been here a very long time, and yet we still haven't recognised them scientifically. Any pointers for that? Well, I can give you a pointer. There's a lot more to these forest people than we can dare to imagine. There's a lot of speculation these days about the whole woo factor. For a long time I discounted that whole idea of myself, but I've now seen and witnessed enough to know that there is something else going on associated with these Sasquatch people. And if I was to report on my experiences to date, nobody would believe me. So the purpose of this video is to say I'm going to take a very low-key role on YouTube from now on, because I'm going on a personal journey. Where it leads me to, I haven't got the foggiest, but my contact with these forest people has gained a new level, and I'm not going to go into that at all. Do I believe it myself? I'm finding it very hard myself to believe it, so I'm not expecting anyone else to believe it. So we'll just have to leave it at that. I'll give you one. In fact, I'll give you one snippet. All right. There's a lot of talk about mindspeak, and whether or not that's true. It's hard for me to actually say categorically the first time that I experienced it was the case. But in my own heart and my own mind, I know damn full well that was something that I didn't make up myself. So, as an experiment, I'm going to ask you a question, a sort of profound question that you would want to ask a Sasquatch people. Alright? I'm going to ask you that question, and I want you to give your instant answer. 1 second answer. Okay? And then I want you to think about it for a minute or two, and then give your most profound answer to the question. Alright? Write down in the comments what your initial answer was, and then secondly your second answer, because I got a split second answer to this one, and it blew my mind, because I would never ever have dreamt of this, and the answer was more profound than the question. So here's the question anyway. Straightforward. What is the meaning of life? Okay, simple. Got your first answer written down? Right, ponder on that for a few minutes. Pause this video, think about it, and then I'll give the answer a bit later on. But yeah, there is another side to these forest people that is off the scale. Off the scale. And am I the only person that's witnessed any of this? No. No. The whole team has. And I've got not the whole team. There's one person that hasn't experienced anything yet, although they've seen weird lights in the forest that they can't explain. Okay, but as for the other aspects, only 4 of us have actually experienced stuff. I experienced something last night that I cannot explain. So I'm hoping that I'm going down a path that will lead me to enlightenment. To get to the bottom of this. Anyone who's drawn in by the search for Bigfoot, Sasquatch, knows how much it takes over your life. You're constantly thinking about it, new methods of trying to get evidence and everything like that. Well, for me, I've given up on that now. I've gained a lot of things over the last 2 years, and I would have to think that there's enough information there to warrant the door being open to acceptance that these forest people do exist. Can't prove anything because science don't want to get involved. Science don't want to get involved because I believe that yes, this whole subject is suppressed by the powers that be, because they know that they've got no control over it. I believe that some of these beings are more advanced than others, but still they're very good at keeping well hidden from us. But the ones that are more advanced, boy, they are advanced. And I believe I'm dealing with some of them right here. Okay, right. Have you had time to think of an answer? So what's the meaning of life? What's your idea then? Okay, right, well, the answer I got, which was a split second, and it blew me away. I started laughing when I got it. And I just felt, hang on a minute, I didn't think of that. Where did that come from? But the answer I got was, what is life? If you're asking the question, what's the meaning of life, you have to understand what life is. And what is life? You know, what's the meaning of life to an amoeba as opposed to a squirrel, as opposed to a human, as opposed to one of these advanced beings? I don't know. That's more of a profound question than the question I asked. So I was on my way to this wood. At that time I asked that question, and it just blew me away. Anyone got any more profound answers than that? But I hope you can understand and appreciate that that's not something I actually thought up. That was definitely not the lines of thought that I was having. And this was a split second answer. It was like it's already predicted. But yeah, what is life? Should we be asking that question more than we are about what's the meaning? Life is... life is an energy force. You know, if you split it down to the molecular level, life is just pure energy. But how do you define who we are if we're just amalgamations of energy? Well, that got me thinking long and hard. I didn't know, I just laughed. When I got that answer, I just laughed. Because I was thinking about how to answer that one, and I can't. I cannot answer that question. So, what's the meaning of life? Got me a more profound answer, or question, as an answer. And I think that's something to ponder on. Yeah, there's... I think if you're going to go Sasquatch hunting, looking for evidence, my advice to you is be prepared. Be prepared you might not get the answers that you're looking for. Because you're going to have to, at some point, if you get that far down the rabbit hole, and I keep using that expression because it's like the Matrix, once you've gone down that deep, you're going to have to expect the unexpected. You're going to have to, at some point, admit the woo side to these forest people. I think a lot of you can testify to the fact that trail cameras don't work. It works for all sorts of other forest beings or forest creatures. But with the Sasquatch, it fails to happen. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have experienced trail cameras switching themselves off or having weird pictures on them. And I know from quite a few researchers in the States that's the case. I know from experience here, this very area here, cameras have been switched off in mid-cycle, even though the batteries are fully charged and memory's plenty of memory. Cameras have been switched off when they're being very close. How do they do it? Well, that's just a snippet in basic form to some of the stuff that we've witnessed. Okay. So for me, there won't be too many videos in the future, because I'm going on a personal journey with this, and how far I get, I don't know. I like to think I've got a scientific mind, and I'm doing this in a manner that can be documented, but I can't do that by using public means. I made a conscious decision to stop the old school method of hunting for Sasquatch, because we know up until today's date it just don't work. Nobody's got any better evidence